What got me into fashion was when I was younger, I rebelled a lot and I got into some trouble. And I prayed to God and I asked God to show me the way and remove me out of the dark place. And behold, I became a fashion designer. My piece was inspired by an art piece from Martine. It was a portrait of a sculpture of a deity of love, an access deity of love. And I went from there. It was like a braided sculpture. It was 3D. And I took all the elements of that artwork and I put it into mine. Also, I incorporated Frida's free will and how she kept herself together throughout her trials and her tribulations of her life. My journey on creating this piece was a long process. I used over 100 packs of synthetic braiding hair. Then I also changed the design because it was actually a pencil skirt at first. And I feel like I needed to make it more elaborate.
I was doing bridal and I had pulled a lot of materials that I'd had just in storage, a lot of old beadwork that I had. And it was a really great opportunity to give it a new life. So the first part of the process was basically immersing myself in Frida's life, immersing herself in her story, her personal story, her artwork. And I thought about how in her life she was supposed to be a doctor, and how doctors, while they surgically help you, she ended up doing it in a spiritual way, right? Because she had so much pain, but then she tapped into that and then she got it out on a canvas. And so that's what I was trying to do when I was looking at all of her work. I thought about how even her casting had paintings on it, and on the back of this tulle garment, I painted a column from one of her paintings. And this is a heart from the two Fridas. And I placed the flowers on them to talk about how beauty blossomed in that place of pain where she was dealing with heartbreak, or she was dealing with her failing body. My daughter came home from school one day and she recognized all the animals as Frida's pets. And that she had all of that because she couldn't have children. So all of that pulled together, and it was so thrilling to actually be able to finish it.
When I was constructing these two garments, I think I started at the same time. For me, Fashion Fusion is not only like the competition itself, but for me, it's like my playground. But it also offers me challenges, right? So I started embroidery class a year ago. And so I was for sure wanting to do something embroidered. And then on the other hand, I also always want to incorporate textiles that are handmade, like knitting or crochet. I've always done knitting and I was like, let me try crochet, right? So it's always like that challenge piece that always inspires me to do more. And it took a while for me to get started. So like reading about Frida, watch movies and look at all her art, read her books, and obviously looked at her diaries because those contain a lot more profound information about her. And also see how others also perceived her, right? That helped me get the idea of what I wanted. So just from that, it took me a whole month to just think about what I wanted to do, put all that together. And until I get the call or the inspiration, I cannot get started with what I wanted to do. Constructing this garment was not the longest one. Like the piece, the bustier and the skirt was an easy step. What took most of the time was embellishing with every single applique because they're all handmade. And just to get an idea, the eyes in like the ones I am wearing right now, the eyes only take 2 hours each. So that is just making it. Then you have to cut it and then put it there and sew it and paint and write. So all of that took a long time. The heart inside took me a whole month to embroider each one of the beads in there. So that's a lot of time. And for this one, figuring out this pattern, because this is it's pants and a skirt together, and I had not ever seen that done before. But I did have to watch some tutorials on how to combine the patterns together, get the help from my professors, which was amazing. So this came out in like a month probably.
My advice for students, especially after being in the industry, is don't lose your voice. I mean, everyone has a story to tell. If you really love fashion and you are called to it, then you have something to say. And the industry is going to come at you with sales, it's going to come at you with trends. And it's really important that you don't lose focus and forget who you are in it. Don't lose your joy, don't lose your reason. Constantly ask yourself why you're in this, and don't let the industry break you down.